All right, question 19. Here's our last and final question on the Unit 3 practice test. We want to know which expression is equivalent to 4x to the third power minus 7y to the third power. Now, the other day I gave you some notes. Those notes were if you have a term to the third, one of them was plus, but I'm going to do the minus one since we have this going on. So a term to the third minus a term to the third, separate one, is actually we call that a difference of cubes, and we write it like such. We say x or a plus b, and then over here we're going to square the a, so a squared is a squared. And then we're going to switch the sign here. So if that's plus, that's going to be minus, and then multiply them. So AB. And finally, at the end, we do B squared. And that's always going to be a positive number because when you square any number, negative or positive, you get a positive. So if we can use that format to help us with this problem, we'll be able to get it. So this is going to be like your A, and this is going to be like your B. So really, it should be 4x minus 7y to start with. So we can cross out the ones with the pluses. Now over here, if I'm doing a squared, I'm doing 4x. I'm putting that in parentheses and I'm squaring it. That's going to give me 4 squared, which is 16, and then x squared is x squared. The next step is to switch the sign in here. So if that's a minus, this is going to be a plus, and then we're going to multiply these together. So 4 times 7 is 28, and you just throw the variables afterward. And finally, we want to take our last term and square that as well. So this is b. So we're going to take 7y, and if I square that, that's going to give me 49y squared. So it'll be plus 49y squared. So there should be an answer that looks just like this. And it looks like it's going to be that second one here. So this will be your answer. This is our last question. So let's Desmos this, and I'll show you a little trick on here too. So if you forget the difference or sum of cubes formula, we can actually use a graph, but if we're graphing multiple variables, let me clear this off for a minute. We know the answer is going to be B. So if we're graphing multiple variables, you're going to get a little error message over here saying you can't do that. So the workaround for that is actually pretty simple. You just say equals, and then you pick a number that's not 0 or 1, not anything small. So I'm just going to say 100. Um, and then you be consistent with that number. So if you look at your graph here, you're going to see that equals 100 pop up. If I could make this a little bit bigger, that might be helpful. There we go. So, and you'll see a picture of the graph. Now, if you look at your answer choices, you are trying to get that graph. So I'll give you a wrong one and a right one. Here's a wrong one. 4x minus 7y, parentheses, 16x squared minus 28xy plus 49y squared. And remember, we should close those parentheses and set it equal to the same number as above. Now, when I do that, um, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, these appear to be the same graph. Looks like I didn't change anything, so let's go back over here. So that's letter answer choice A. Answer choice B is, oh, that's a plus. Okay, and you do get a different graph with that one, as you can see if I zoom in a little bit. Uh, and we know it's going to be one of those two because of the sign, but I'll go ahead and graph the other ones as well. So let's see here. All right, so you can see there's four distinct graphs and none of them overlap. But if I look at my original one, and again, you should set it equal to the same number. This graph is going to give you the same result as one of these graphs. So if I hide the four answer choices and I just pick on one, so let's say it's the first one, you can see that's not the first one, they're off. So answer choice A will not work. Now, if I click on the second one, notice that if I toggle back and forth between these, does it appear that these graphs are the same thing? They're just overlapping each other. And if I zoom out, I'm going to get the same thing. So answer choice B is the quickest way to get that answer by just using a graph and using some common sense and making sure that you set them all equal to the same number if you're going to go the graph route. So use 100, use 10, just don't use 0 or 1 because they're usually problematic with those. All right, that'll conclude the practice test. Thank you for watching these series of videos. Hope it was helpful.